This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages, right here on the house that Kamurai built. It's the Vlogcast, and I am Kamurai here talking about things and stuff going on in my life, and I'm that pace, who knows, fuck me, world is spinning, everything's happening so fast, so much. Of course, work has been a cacophony of too much going on and not enough because I wasn't. It's like you have this thing to do. It must be done yesterday, and then like I didn't have the ability to do it, and I didn't really know I had the ability. I didn't have the ability to do it because I'm not there often. I don't have the context that all these other people have, but they have the context of what is going on, and they're supposed to make the decisions about who's supposed to do what. So like I'm not helpful there at all. But I've got another week on contract, and then I'm going to end up being a driver full time, and I can't tell you how much anxiety I have about that. But I think I'm going to redo my resume and definitely launch another attempt at finding a real programming job. Jesus, kitties, and hopefully it will work out. I at this point I think I'm very much committed to refunding VidCon and just not going. Even if I can go, it's not worth the price of going. A, taking the time off, and B, just spending it. Because I mean, it's $500 just for the level of ticket that I would get if I was gonna go, and that was the early bird price, not the current price. Plus plane ticket, which is gonna be another, what is it? Let's call it 500 because it's going to be 3 something plus tax, and then hotel, which is going to be another 5 or whatever. And this is being conservative, I think, in general. And then food expenses, especially in California, plus car rental if I do that, it's probably going to be another 500 or more. So I mean that's like $2,000 that I can take and put other places and have it be more useful, especially given all the price increases I've had in my life. And I'm perfectly happy to start closing out credit cards and stuff at this point. I just got to get them paid off, and I'm not going to get rid of them because having them there in case of emergency is helpful. But I just need to start knocking it out and just be done with it and work towards things. I think I'd love to. Like, I'm finally in a house, which is good. I think it's a good step up, and I don't know if I need to just stay here long enough, or if I can end up buying this place, or find a thing. And like, I think that just needs to be a goal in my head. Eventually, after X amount of time, I should be able to be in a position to do something like that. But I like this place enough. I just have to take some time and work on a couple things, and hopefully I can get the rest of it finished out. And it seems like everything's breaking around me. Like, I thought my laptop was broken again. It apparently is just being troublesome. And at this point, I don't know what to do about this laptop because I'm very much at the point where, like, I could use a better travel laptop, but I can't treat it like I've treated my previous laptops. I need one that's the one that I would need has to be nice enough that I can't risk it being damaged. And even the laptop that I've had previously, it's like I didn't actually do the damage to it, regardless of how poorly I've treated it. It's been the cats have knocked it over. And it's not even like they just not pushed it off the table. Like they upended the table because they're fat assholes. But it's just caused so many hundreds of dollars, and I can't do it anymore. My phone screen broke. Can I show this without giving everything I do away? I don't even know if it'll show up on the screens, but like there's a big crack there from here to there, and it started as a hairline fracture because I woke up with it like that. I don't even know what happened. I think either the cats knocked it down or I knocked it down because that has happened before, and it just landed just the right way to crack it, and it still works. So I think I'm just gonna live with it because they don't make my phone anymore, and it's fucking ridiculous. I bought a replacement screen, like the glass, but it doesn't have the touch technology with it. So And the guy at the place warned me that if you do that, it's going to be a problem. Um, yeah, I don't understand why people would come into a chat and berate the person talking when, in order to get them to be quiet, you turn them off or go away. I don't care. Like, you really don't matter to me, person, so whatever. So this nonsense, like with the manufacturing, it's a Google phone, and I like that it's a Google phone, and I like the system, but Project Fi has turned out to not be worth it. Currently, it feels like it's. I feel like I'm paying more than I have in years through there, because I'm not on Wi-Fi as often as I was in Florida. In Florida, like I was at work, or I was at home, or I was at some place that let me on the Wi-Fi, and whatever. It was always like 5-10 minutes in between places. Um, and who cares? Like, it's not a big deal there. And like, so I was paying like $20 a month. Sometimes I get money back, and now I feel like I'm paying almost as much as I paid at Metro PCS. Uh, and like, it doesn't feel like the service is necessarily better. I do like that, like, I can just take calls on my computer and not worry about it. Um, because I like that. I always liked that with Skype, and like, I was actually good enough that way that I could get rid of Skype and be okay with it. Except that's the number I use for business, if you will. Oh, my nose. So there's that. Um, so, so like, that's kind of things breaking. On the upside of things in technology is that I feel like I finally dealt with Blender enough that I know everything that I need to deal with Blender, as far as that I need to deal with Blender, because I'm not using it for super crazy custom models yet. I may do that in the future when I finally get my 3D printer in, because I'm just using geometric shapes for board game stuff, and I now know enough to do that. And I've got the first for the first 4 games in the Simple Games suite. I've got those, and they're pretty much all on tabletop simulator, and I just have to write out the rules and then format it a little bit and then make it look nice. And then I'll end up releasing those more publicly, and that'll be fun to have those out there and be like, hey, look, I made this thing. Here it is. You can play it as long as you have this other thing. And I'd love to just put it in Gamebox, but I haven't got back to that, and I'll get back to it eventually. I miss working on it, if I'm being honest, and it just, I think the last problem I had was just a trigonometry problem. There was a couple of degrees that weren't calculating correctly, so it was causing issues on the rotations. Um, so there's that, and I don't know. I'll get there. Get there. I'll get there. I'll get there. Yeah, and then I accidentally found another way to write websites, and the only thing that's holding me up there is that um, you apparently can't concatenate variables. So I can't like designate the web page path and then append that to a web page. I've got to like do it all at once, and I don't know quite how to do that. And the technology there is called SSI. It's Apache SSI, server side integration. So I was just playing around with that, and if I can throw up another version of my website, great. It's another technology that I can say, hey, I worked with this. Yay, I'm awesome. But I need to sit down and properly learn Node.js. What was the other thing? Angular, I need to put up a version of that as well. And so I can be like, yeah, hey, I did a thing. MVC's fucking with me. I don't like how it works. It's just so restrictive. You have to do everything a certain way, and it's dominating on how my other things work, and I don't like it. And eventually, I'll figure out how to get the Oracle and then Postgres to work. And I think they're right. I think the problem is that the object that I've created is bound to the DBO schema, because the original way I bound it was through SQL Server, and that's neither here nor there. But let's see, let's fix that there. Okay. Um, Oh, so there's that. Let's see. We talked about game stuff. We talked about work shit. Um, girlfriend thing is going well. She may or may not be more involved here soon. But it's really nice to have that in my life again. It's been a while. I really appreciate her. And we're in this funny mix of like taking it easy and doing whatever, and then just being like, hey, we really like each other. Let's do all this stuff. To the point like we've even talked a little bit about whether or not we moving in, and I think she's here. Uh, she's probably gonna hang out on the side a little bit. We're doing whatever she does. So that's going really well. I'm enjoying that. Um, uh, to the point where like things are coming up, and I'm talking about it to other people. I went to HavenCon this weekend. I missed Friday night because I'm an idiot. I think it's really what it comes down to. I lost track of time. I was like, hey, let me do a thing, and then, hey, baby, you just kissed me on camera. Okay, just making sure you know. Uh, so yeah, so she's here. She likes me. Okay, so HavenCon. Yes, Tux, you're here too. You old camera whore. Um, So I was gonna go see Electrify and play on Friday. It was my goal, and then there was a meetup for a community that I know uh, that I was gonna try to make it to, and then like try to figure things out before Saturday. And I just lost track of time. I was like, okay, I'll watch an episode of something, and I'll do this work and try to figure it out. Um, and it turned out being a little bit more complicated than I originally thought, because I thought it was just going to be tedious. Is essentially just doing a UV map for a coin in Blender, but like I just did too many sides, and then I wanted to keep that so that it would be more granular. So if we wanted to do different colorations for it or whatever, then it wouldn't be a problem. Um, so I just worked and worked and worked, and then when that was done, I switched over to something else. And then by the time I looked at my watch or clock or whatever, um, it's ridiculous because there's a clock right there on my computer, but the tripod was blocking it because I got this giant thing, and I really want to find my mini tripod. I'm so upset that I don't know where it's at. It's not in there. And then Saturday I was helping my buddy actor move, um, and Katie came over to help out with that as well, and she's awesome for that. But like we got him moved over, and we got like twice as much done I think as he was originally planning, so that was great for him. But by the time we got done having lunch and everything, she had to run away to go do something, and then I went over to HavenCon. But that is the most ridiculous layout for a hotel floor that I think I've ever seen. It's not. It, it, it's not designed to be one big thing. It's designed to have multiple type of things. Um, okay, whatever. Um, so if you like were to walk into the information booth, and there's not, and that's the other thing. It's very unsecure. You could really just walk in from wherever. But if you walk up to the information booth, the only thing that's obvious is to the right. There's some booths and exhibition places where people are selling stuff, and there's a lot of that because then they want to make that really obvious so that everybody knows it's there, so that people will go there and buy it. And then the main stage, when I got there, was closed, so I didn't even know that was a thing. And then apparently it's like you had to go all the way around and down, and it's like, whatever. I'm not doing all this. But apparently they had closed it off to process people for the cosplay contest, and then there was private autographs going on for somebody. I think Janet Varney was like the big one for this weekend, and good for her for coming down and doing some good there. Um, and I'm just not an autograph person, and I get she's a big deal, but I don't know, it doesn't affect me. So like I'm just wandering around trying to figure out what's going on, and of all people, I run into Kelly and Ace Nova. Um, Super cool to see them in real life, and because I was just kind of looking, I was like, uh, she looks kind of familiar, but like I don't know anybody here. And I look over and I see her husband, and it's like, well, I think I know him too. So that's got to be who they are. I'm like, Kelly Ace, and they freaked out, and I freaked out, and it was great. And it turned out, Mermaid, no, not Mermaid, Miranda, uh, Hot Glitch, Ashley Miranda was there with her husband. So it was really cool to see them and meet them in person because I was. So, but Kelly, who actually knows me from the and her husband knows me, but like Philip and Ashley had no idea who I was. They were just like, "Oh, you're a person that knows things." Such a weird idea, a weird concept to meet people from the internet that know you, but you don't know them. And generally, I would say stay away from that. But like, I had Kelly there to vet for me, and like, I don't think I would have hung out with Ashley and Philip just on their own. But like, I had enough interactions with Kelly and a few interactions with Ace that like. I definitely had like some vetting, but they were definitely very much more interested in seeing like what swag they could get, more so like purchasing, not just free shit everywhere. Because it's not like that sort of thing. The people who run the booths are there to either promote themselves and or sell merch. And bully for them. I really didn't see anything like I felt I needed to have. I was looking around and like none of this is a bookshelf. Which I also did manage to get. I managed to get my bookshelves to put my board games on finally. Yeah, it made me really glad I didn't spend anything at HavenCon, because honestly, eh. It's cool stuff. They had some neat products. Like there was like a dick pouch, that was very intriguing. There's cool skirts. There's a bunch of good T-shirts. There's especially one. It was of Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, and it had like a really good quote underneath it. And I was just like, oh, it's such a good shirt, and I just didn't bother getting it because I don't think I would ever wear it. And it was a weird color too. It's like this is a weird kind of shitty brown, but it was like a soft tan. I was like, no, I don't want that. The and then there's one cool lady who was there selling like potion things, and I was like, and originally my response to the booth was like, what is this? Why am I? Why would I stop here? But of course, I'm with Kelly Nova and Ashley Miranda, and so like they're like, oh my gosh, adorbs, adorbs, and they're like looking at all the different things, and so I started looking at them a little closer. I'm like, okay, there's some neat value here, and my whole idea, because of the way my brain works, is that you would take the little potions, and the whole idea is you shake them up, and that they have glitter and swirly crap on the inside, or they glow in the dark, or they have like orbs, or something equivalent on the inside. And so the chemicals have different reactions going on inside depending upon their solubility and everything. If you know anything about chemistry or science, that's kind of the realm we're living in here. So like I'm actually starting to look at them closer, and it turns out Kelly knows the booth owner. So they start talking and getting whatever, and then so like I got dragged into it, and it's like she actually turned out to be like this really nice lady, and so like I started geeking out talking science with her about her contraptions, and she had painted this great image of her changing her kitchen into like a laboratory for this kind of thing, and it was just fantastic. I loved it, and I love that she's smart enough to know not to mix kitchen stuff with spelling stuff or science stuff, and that whole thing comes from there's a series of books called The Hollows. It's the Rachel Marion Morgan series, and she is a witch, but in that universe, like she's an earth witch, and it involves like a lot of spell preparation or whatever, and they use like special copper pots to keep the magic from bouncing out of it, essentially. Or leaking through it, rather. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on with that, and she uses her kitchen as her laboratory or her spelling place because that's what's available, and she knows like she's got spelling pots and food pots, and everyone in the household knows not to mix them because you eat the wrong spell ingredient, and who knows what's going to happen to you. So it was a fun throwback to that, and she was really nice. I couldn't tell if she was flirting with me or not because I don't have that gene apparently, but like it kind of felt like it. So like at that point, it's like, well, is that the possibility? Being that she is married, but we live in a progressive world and it's a very progressive con, so who knows what any of that going ons is. But like she was friendly enough, like she actually invited me over, and of course I'll have to call her and see what's going on. I didn't meet her husband today, the second day, because the first day she was dressed up as a pirate, and then today, like I saw Princess Bubblegum, I'm like, oh, that's a neat dress, and I looked up and it was her. She's a very tall lady. Um, and I was like, oh, okay. Hey, it's Kat. And then so I walked her back to her booth, and I actually stepped on her gown. Oi, I was so embarrassed, and it looked like she was a little peeved, honestly. I was like, oh, let me just walk away for a minute, let her cool off. So I went and found Shannon. I ran into Mary and Andy, and it was so nice to meet them and just have them in real life. It's not like we really got to do anything, but it is what it is. I'm very realistic with the level of friendship I have with these people. I don't expect anything out of them. If they want to give me a hug and say hey and talk for a minute, it's fantastic of them. Great. Um, but I don't expect much out of any of these people. I barely expect time for a very short conversation out of people. Like Danny was on much more relaxed today when I ran into her, but she's still kind of full head of steam, and she was nice enough to stop and try to talk to me. And I was just kind of like, oh, she obviously needs to go do something else. And she came in for part of Shannon's set today because I finally got to see some of them, and it turned out really not a big crowd for her. But it's like her second time ever she did something with her loop pedal system outside her house. But super impressive. She only has 2 tracks to work with, and she sets up a beat um, on it, and then she sings over it, and it's she does a lot with very little, um, and it's amazing. She's got such a great voice. It's fantastic, and she even managed to rap a little bit in Japanese. That was super interesting. Um, but it was just, I mean, it was just maybe a dozen people. It was really good that some younger ladies came in and started dancing in the back. Um, but you looked around, there was probably about 6 people that we weren't sure of, who they were, but the rest of us pretty much knew each other, um, or we'd recognize each other. I honestly probably couldn't have placed 2 of the names, but they're all nice people. Just super happy to meet and hang out with people again. Mary, I talked to Mary about video games for a little bit, and we, oh my God, for the love of God, go find it's called, I don't know if it's The Color Thief or it's Color Thief, but what a fantastic game. It's super cute. It's very much in the same genre with Portal and Aperture and Unfinished Swan. It's a puzzle adventure game using visual aesthetics as a mechanic. And I say that, God, mechanical aesthetics are such a weird thing to talk about in games. I'll talk more about this with our gaming division. But I would say Unfinished Swan is the only one that I know uses it. You make arguments for Journey using that. But the Color Thief is the next closest one. I was like, who do I give my money to make this happen? So I'm really hoping, it's a very nice couple that's making the game. I was talking to her a lot about it, and I'm hoping that they start a Kickstarter or something, and I would gladly throw $20 at the project just to make sure that it happens, and that I can pre-order that way. It'll be really good. And I was trying to sell Mary on it, and she had seen it before. And if you're going to RTX, that's they're going to be there doing that as well. And then let's see, it's going to show up on. Oh no! Mary was trying to tell me about Finji, Finji, I think. And she was telling me about Night in the Woods, and it's this very quirky little animals character talking. It really looks like they took Animal Crossing and they put it into a 2D mystery story type thing. And it seemed to be a very good story thing. It's got a cute aesthetic to it. Um, and apparently it's been in development for over a year now, and I'm hoping that it goes in because it really looks cute. It looks interesting. It has good humor, a lot of dialogue. So I was sitting behind a couple girls playing it and watching, and just kind of like, man, whatever. And I kept looking to my left because I saw this other game called Feist, or Feast. I don't know. It's Feist, and so I think it's Feist. And that's the game that drew me in out of the 4 games that that company had presenting. There was a turn-based strategy game called Overland that honestly, mechanically, seems like up my alley, but it just didn't draw me like Feist did. Feist is almost entirely black and white, and it's not black and white like, oh, it's not, it has like a color. It's black and white and everything is in shadows, and then they use white to do highlights for eyes and things that glint, and then there's some red sprinkled in there. So you're definitely bleeding into the background here and there. You can't exactly tell how the backgrounds are and stuff. Okay, I'm getting all into video games. I just short side of it. I just really got into it. But like it was down that hallway into the nether regions of the con, and then if you go farther back, you ran to like the board game section and where they were doing D&D stuff. And honestly, like that's the type of place where it's like I'll just go and I'll set up like a table or something with my games and play board games for the convention. Um, you can bet your ass when I drive down to RTX, I'm gonna get a black bag full of video game or board games, if not 2, and bring it down there and just be like, yeah, I've got some games. I'm standby. What up? And that'll be a good time because anytime I'm not doing something, and now that I live in Austin, I'm not gonna feel the pressure to like make the most of every second. It's gonna be like, hey, I'm just gonna have a good time. As long as I'm having a good time, checkbox. And that'll be nice to actually drive to a convention like I did here at HavenCon, even if it's downtown, because Rooster Teeth's blown up. That oh my God, they're not bi-coastal because they're only on the West Coast, but they've got a lot of things going on in California. They've got a lot of things going on here in town. I think we're really close to them almost moving out there. I think the big deal there would be that the company's too big that they're not going to get like a justification for moving everyone out there. But they're definitely going to have offices from San Diego. No, I'm sorry, from San Francisco down to L.A. Because Kind of Funny's in San Francisco, and now they're officially part of that family. I mean, they're real close to Geek and Sundry being folded in too, because Rooster Teeth and Geek and Sundry are both part of Full Screen, so they're already part of the same family. But Geek and Sundry definitely is not under Rooster Teeth, and I don't know if like they would ever agree to that. I don't know how much power Felicia Day and Will Wheaton still have in that regard. But Kind of Funny is such a small business that they got taken under, and I'm wondering if like Jim Sterling would ever consider like leaving his independence and like joining something like that too. But they picked up Screw Attack, they picked up Funhouse. They're definitely expanding, though I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't want to expand and put their brand all over the place. But it's exactly what they're doing, and the difference is that they're picking up people that are established and that could survive on their own, instead of picking up new opening enterprises or helping them out. And I mean, Rooster Teeth has claimed to be about the community for quite some time. So, like, I would like to see them do something like YouTube claims that they're doing and opening up like a Rooster Teeth space here in Austin before YouTube opens up a YouTube space here, so that creators can use the space to create content. And I guarantee you, if either of those happen, I'm going to go check it out, and I'll be like, well, look, I'm these partners, and see what I can do to utilize it. But I like having a setup here, whether or not it's great. And I realize I've overused this green screen for fucking way too long now, but we're definitely going to hit a point where I'm either going to take it down or I'm going to change it, and I'm going to set up the bookcases to try to have a more of a proper set. This desk being such a huge corner desk that it is, I don't know what I can do about it unless I move the desk to the middle of the room, which I'm not exactly against. The problem there is that I just run a risk of the cats knocking the monitors over because they think they can fit somewhere, or they can push the monitors off and then fit there. I don't need those costs, so I actually have to take those things into account. But like you saw, my girlfriend is here, so I'm gonna fuck off and go do that for a little bit until I do Gaming Division later, which will probably go up late because I've got to do some things. Oh, it'd be still gonna be a full night. And then of course we've got We Are Movie Club tomorrow, and I may or may not get some actual gaming in tonight. Honestly, I've still got to watch the movie for Weird Movie Club tomorrow, and that'll be a fun thing all on its own. Leave me alone, Uber. So until you see me next time, I am Kamurai. Have a nice day. If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.